USC and UCLA take their shows on the road with disastrous results. The Lakers offense is becoming more than just chucking the ball deep in the paint. And a Kings offensive threat needs back surgery. Again. Good morning. I'm James. This is your daily dose of sports and snark for the greatest sports city in the world, Los Angeles. This is the faithful Angelenos morning report. So it is October 15th, 2023, and you know what? We deal with reality here on this channel. Yesterday for LA Sports was literally like those video clips you see on YouTube, where these ancient kung fu masters grab hold of a brick and smash themselves in the testicles repeatedly. It was that kind of a night. And even worse, in a sense, today is Sunday, where we take bended knee and thank the Lord despite having such bruised and battered testicles. We thank him for the good things in our life, which includes LA Sports. If you like being in the know, click the like button. Click the subscribe button. There's a notification bell. Hit that. It'll let you know we drop new content. Sharing is caring. Let people know we exist, and by all means comment, because there's always good stuff when it's LA Sports. So, before we go through the news and notes, a look at the scoreboard. Caleb Williams threw 3 interceptions in a game for the first time in his career, and USC still hasn't won in Notre Dame since 2011. Yikes. 21st ranked Notre Dame 48, USC 20. No longer 10th ranked. Meanwhile, up in Corvallis, Dante Moore also threw 3 interceptions. 15th ranked Oregon State 36, 18th ranked UCLA 24. Carolina edged the Kings in a shootout 6-5. Anze Kopitar scores twice. Dejan Joveljic and Douglas Costa both score for the LA Galaxy, but they only could manage a tie with Real Salt Lake 2-2. Meanwhile, today, Arizona's in town to face the Rams at 125. The Rams trying to get back to 500. Portland is at Angel City FC at 2 o'clock. This is Decision Day in the NWSL. There are 8 teams vying for the 4 remaining playoff spots in the league. That includes Angel City FC. Angel City could finish as high as 3rd, or they could miss the playoffs entirely and fall all the way to 10th. Critical game for the ladies this afternoon. So I don't want to spend a whole lot of time talking about USC and UCLA other than just simply to get to the facts, to what we have talked about all year long, because there are going to be people piling on USC over the next couple of days. Be ready for it. Accept it. That's what the scribes do. So be it. If you thought that the Trojans fell too much in the polls while winning, just wait until tomorrow. It's going to be pretty bad. But I have 3 things to say about the Trojans from last night. Straight and simple. I've been saying for over a year that there would come a time when Caleb Williams could not go out there and be Caleb Williams. And when that moment happens, the defense has to make plays. And now we see why. This is what happens when Caleb Williams can't be Caleb Williams. It wasn't the worst performance of the year for the defense, not at all. But I have to tell you, we've been clowning Alex Grinch way more than the players. We talked about the 3-3-5 defense and how you can't be enslaved to blitzing all the time. There was 1 touchdown pass, the first one from Notre Dame. What happened? Grinch blitzed when he probably shouldn't have. There was an open receiver who went right to where the blitzer left to go get the quarterback. In other words, the receiver said, hey, somebody's blitzing. I think I'll go where he was, caught the pass, got into the end zone untouched. I'm also dumbfounded as to why Alex Grinch went with 3 down linemen in a goal line situation. He brought up linebackers, but none of them put their hands in the dirt. Notre Dame had the ball on the USC 2. You need to get leverage on the opposing offensive line. 3 people with their hands in the dirt for USC. Of course they got blasted off the line of scrimmage. What's with that call? The second thing I would like to let you know is I always listen more to the coaches and the players than I do the scribes. An anonymous Pac 12 coach prior to the season said that USC's linemen could be pushed around. And Saturday, they absolutely were. We talked last week about how the offensive line wasn't set, particularly at right tackle. Look at Williams' first interception if you bothered to keep the game on DVR. Williams was pressed by an Irish lineman who beat right tackle Michael Tarkin. Williams overall was sacked 6 times. So how much is this Williams' fault and how much is it the offensive line? Fair question. Finally, I want to let you know that this particular loss does not necessarily eliminate USC from the college football playoffs, but they have no more room for error. They have to run the table, especially after this loss. You can excuse one loss on the road. You can, against one of your biggest rivals, but you can't excuse 2. No way. I'm going to talk a little bit less about UCLA because, as I've been saying for the last couple of weeks, I think the rebuilt UCLA defense is one of the biggest stories in college football. And I've been going through game film and I've been going through this, that, and the other to try to be able to eventually explain what UCLA has been doing in order to reach such great results on the defensive side of the ball. They were once in the hundreds in terms of defensive rankings. Now they're top 10. That's a story. Nobody seems to know why. But I would say that the Bruins right now are out of the college football playoff conversation. You can't be in it with 2 losses. And honestly, I don't know if you could ever be in the college football playoff conversation when you have a freshman at quarterback. Let's just call it for what it is. I think therein lies the rub. See, because Moore not only threw 3 interceptions yesterday, he threw a pick 6 for the 3rd game in a row. So not only is he not advancing the ball down the field, he's putting his own team in a deeper hole because he's automatically gifting the opponent 6 points. Right? That's a lot to overcome. And so you have to step back if you're a Bruins fan and be honest with yourself. Moore had the pedigree coming out of high school. Was it really the greatest idea to have him lead the offense, a spread offense, that early in his career? Switch topics. I made a vow not to go too crazy on Lakers preseason, but The Athletic is reporting that for the 5 quarters so far, that LA played a, quote, semi-regular rotation, unquote, whatever the hell that is. LA has scored an average of 35.4 points per quarter. That would be an average of 141.6 points per game. Now, look, I believe that to be way, way premature to try and sit there and extrapolate what you can learn in the regular season. Like all of that is a trend. But it does indicate something that I do believe is important. Because for years, the Lakers were built around, obviously, Anthony Davis and LeBron James. And LeBron James would just drive the lane, and just play bully ball. So if you're the other team, what do? Well, you don't respect the outside shooting of the Lakers. They didn't have any. You would just sag all your defenders right in the low post to do what you can to try to stop LeBron or Anthony Davis. Well, the Lakers do have outside shooting now. They do. They have it in Austin Reeves, Taurean Prince. You could say Gabe Vincent. You could say D'Angelo Russell. So what is that doing? Is it possible that the defenses are no longer confined to going in the paint? Hell, even Anthony Davis has been working on his outside shot, kind of spreading out that defense, opening up additional lanes to get to the hoop. Because you have to respect it when the teams can score both from inside and outside. Confession, I never watched the show Winnin' Time, the HBO series on the Showtime Lakers. I mean, I was alive then. I loved watching the Showtime Lakers play. Totally different lifestyle, by the way. The scribes absolutely knew that the Lakers were just partying it up like there's no tomorrow. And by the way, can you blame them for feeling bulletproof? Magic Johnson had HIV and he's still around. That dude is Mr. Bulletproof, right? But I have to confess, and I get it, I do realize that medicines for HIV have come a long way since the 1980s. I totally get that. But Magic, let's be real. The man is bulletproof, and apparently so are the rest of the Lakers. But I must confess, I wonder how many episodes of Winning Time that James Worthy would have been the main plot point, right? This is what Worthy thought of his life back then. Quote, "Man, it was bleep ball crazy in the 80s, man. You know, the hotels, the lifestyles. I'm really glad there wasn't social media back then. It was fun, but it was dangerous." Dangerous? For a country boy like me who only had 2 girlfriends, it forced me to get married. I was out here for a couple of years alone, and it was a death wish. I couldn't handle it, unquote. By the way, when I mean party, let's be real, I really meant orgy. But anyway, Worthy got married, and he still couldn't be true. Remember, the guy got arrested back in 1990 for soliciting a prostitute, so there's that. Austin Reeves got a text message from his dad late Friday night. His dad chided him for getting a technical foul during an exhibition game. Quote, "And I apologize to the ref, so my bad," unquote, Reeves said. And I like this story because I think we all need a reminder to call our moms. Terrible news for Victor Arvidsson. He needs back surgery for the second time in his career, according to Kings general manager Rob Blake. Now, this is bad for the Kings in the sense that he's a top 6 player. He creates a lot of shots for the team, but it's also terrible for him because it's back surgery. Hi. In addition to that, it's terrible for him because he's in the last year of his contract. He's trying to play for a good deal. He's going to be out month to month, not day to day, according to Kings general manager Rob Blake. Now, there is a belief that this is going to be the same type of surgery that he had just a couple of years ago, something to fix a herniated disc. So it's not like he's getting it fused or anything like that. But consider a moment the way hockey players have to skate. That's a lot of core work. That's a lot of strain on your back. So this is an issue that could be ongoing for Victor Arvidsson, possibly for the rest of his career and even beyond. The Rams have had a surprisingly stout defense, but damn, they really could use a pass rush. So you are already probably hearing rumors about how Frank Clark was cut by Denver and how he would be a decent way to upgrade the rush. I think that those rumors is just idle chit-chat. There hasn't been anything actually linked to a Rams Frank Clark deal. But as for the players that are currently on the roster, rookie O'Shawn Mathis played just 10 snaps last week against Philadelphia. But in 2 of those 10 snaps, he pressured the quarterback. So, would you imagine that that means more playing time for the guy, especially when he's going from Philadelphia's elite offensive line to whatever the hell Arizona throws out there to try to protect their quarterback? You tell me. But you let me know what you think in the comments thread. Just how big of a boot to the nether regions was that for the Trojans and the Bruins? And do you believe, have you been watching Lakers preseason, and do you believe that the offense is becoming more varied? And if you enjoyed the content, don't forget to subscribe to Faithful Angelenos. We're talking LA sports every single day here. Thank you for watching. I'm James. We'll be back tomorrow. Faithful Angelenos is a Kian Corte El Queso production. Take care.